Hello friends, welcome to Frolics and Finds. We are doing a garden show and tell today while I am being eaten alive by mosquitoes and bugs that are still in the garden. Looks like we're going to harvest basil. There's just a lot of it. And of course, I broke this baby. Hi, hello. Aren't you beautiful? Oh my goodness. I'm gonna go ahead and this is my first year growing zinnias and I can't get over how beautiful they are. Hi, babe. How about that in your ear? Like that. You'll be so pretty with that. Look at you. It's as big as your face, honey. It's as big as your face. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Yeah. Yeah. I cooked after we harvested the okra and after I broke one of my blooms for the zinnia and playing with River. I'm gonna harvest this basil and what I'm gonna do with this is just put this in my uh, basket here, which we call nigo in the Philippines. So, and then I'm just gonna let it dry. I'm not gonna use a dehydrator, but I'm just gonna harvest them all, wash them, and then after that, I am going to lay it on a like a tea towel to dry, and then I put it in my basket and let it sun dry. So that's what I'm gonna do. So we're gonna go ahead and pinch and pinch, and then just throw this in the basket. So I don't know. Do you guys garden? I have been thinking about a few things lately. Um, the purpose of my garden is number one, to check off a bucket list. I always wanted to have a backyard garden, but I just don't have the time because I do know that you need to have some times to devote to your garden, or when you are tending vegetable gardens there are work to do because you got to prune them, you got to um, make sure that you're on top of the bugs and whatever their needs. You have to fertilize them, you have to weed them. You know, even if they say, oh, if you plant it this way there's not going to be any weeds, baloney. There will always be weeds in the garden and that's okay. um, in other words, what I'm trying to say here is there are time requirements in the garden and you have to keep up with those time requirements. They really needs attention, like harvesting or making sure that they are pruned or the weeds or watered, all those things. And my purpose is to grow a garden so that I can just get out in the backyard and get things that I need. And it's probably because it brings me joy because that's how I grow up. I spent time with my grandfather who got a huge garden around the house. And when it's time for us to cook, you know, vegetables and stuff like that, we really just go to the garden. We don't order them from big box store. We just go to the garden. And in the process of frolicking, that is why the title of the name of my channel is Frolics and Finds, because that is my memory. We go out to the garden and frolics and find all sorts of stuff, from vegetables to pineapples to a surprise. Um, here's my partner in life, always trying to mess with my thoughts. Why are you here? I'm talking and I am vlogging. Of course, I told you don't join me. I wasn't kidding, honey. I'm on the groove here. I have to shoo him away because he's kind of messes with my concentration. But I'm actually sweet to him. Okay, you can come back now. Come back! Jack, come back! I'm serious, honey. You can come back now. So anyway, he's mad at me. He's not coming back. All right. So where was I? Now I am. So yeah, that's how I grow. And I always my purpose is to use what I planted. And sometimes I walk in, my town, and I see rows and rows of tomatoes that are being really taken care of. And once they have the harvest, and maybe they already have their few pieces of tomatoes, they just leave it alone. They just let it rot. And I'm having a hard time with that, because even if they are biodegradable, even if they are, this is my strawberry runners that are getting out of hands. I'm going to return it in the bed. Even if, they talk about sustainability, and sustainability really is not just about, oh, because it is biodegradable and you can return it to uh, the earth, doesn't mean that you're just gonna spend all the time and the fertilizers and the resources to grow them and not use them just because they're gonna just grow back. I have a problem with that, because I think that is not sustainable, because there are resources, there are efforts, there are carbon footprints that you are leaving by doing the garden, and then not using them. So preserving is a good way. And if you don't have time to preserve your produce, then don't plant much. That's why I only have one basil, because I know that basil grows like crazy, and you can hardly keep up with it. So I don't need to plant four, because look at this. This only one basil, and it's really strong. Okay. The stem is really woody, so this is really a very healthy plant. Pepper, I just plant 3 peppers. I just plant a few tomatoes, because I don't want to be inundated with harvest and produce that you don't know what to do with it, and then they end up in the your dumpster. So that's not sustainability for me. For me, that's irresponsibility. I know there's a lot of people out there that are growing loofah, so I just hope that they are really processing this loofah into something that they can use. And by the way, loofah is not just, we call it sikwa back home um, in the Philippines, and it is actually a vegetables. You can eat them when they're young. There's a good stir fry and some stews that you can cook with them for loofah before they really become old and then fibrous, and you have the loofah. So this is our basil harvest today. Like I said, I'm gonna sun dry this, and this is going to my pantry. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week.